And we're happy to be joined by Bill Finch. He's the former mayor of Bridgeport, just down the road here from the Greenwich-Stanford area. Former Connecticut State Senator. He serves as Climate Fellow at the Rockefeller Institute of Government. Most recently was the acting director of the New York State Thruway Authority. And he's just been named, which is the reason we have him on here, the executive director of the Discovery Museum in Bridgeport. I was talking a little bit about what an exciting place that is. It's sentimental to me because when I had a vending business, we had a machine in there. We had part of the proceeds going to the American Red Cross, and I used to love to go in there and watch all the kids from school, etc. Before we get to Bill, I want to just give a shout-out to John Iannuzzi, Park City Productions. He's the producer of my two shows, Forensic Talk and Business Talk, and he arranged this interview. Welcome, Bill. Thanks for joining us on a Friday.
Oh, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
And congratulations on the new job.
Yeah, very exciting. What a place this is.
Okay, for the folks down here on the southern corner of the state, tell us exactly what Discovery Museum is.
Well, we'd love to invite everybody up to see it. It's a highly interactive science facility. We call ourselves a museum, but it's not your father's museum. There's really not much to just sit and look at. You know, you really got to get involved, touch things, interact with the exhibits, and it's great for people of all ages. I still love coming here and trying different sort of experiments that you do that are the exhibits. In addition to all of the interactive exhibits, we've got a planetarium, and we have multiple planetarium shows every day. We also have an auditorium where we have lectures and movies, and then we also have a really cool thing called Science on a Sphere, and it's a globe that's, it's about 15 feet in diameter, and it hangs from the ceiling, and projectors project 3D images onto this globe with lessons about climate and transportation and water and cloud cover and meteorology and countries and all kinds of cool things, and the kids can actually play around with it and program what they want to see on there themselves. So it's a full day, and it's a great destination. We're very heavily involved with NASA and a rocketry program. In fact, today we were watching NASA television here in our Challenger Center, and for corporations that want to do team building, for schools that want to see their kids excited to do science and technology, the Challenger Center is amazing. It's like you're in the International Space Station or Mission Control, and so the people in that go from the planetarium to the mission control to actually a mission on Mars or a mission on the Moon or a mission on Earth that are all done in conjunction with NASA and the International Space Station. So it's a Challenger Center. There's about 100 in the world. We're the only one in Connecticut.
Very cool. And I remember the place is just full of all these great colors and stuff. I've been reading about your stuff, just what you were mentioning. The Great Rocket Challenge, the kids put together designs as if they're bidding on a NASA contract. Did I get that right?
Yeah, they do. These kids are pretty amazing. We've got kids building rockets and working with NASA. We have 3D printers where they're actually making parts of rockets, and they're actually making prosthetics in 3D printers. It's pretty amazing.
What have you guys got on deck for what I read is the 60th anniversary?
Well, we're actually making plans for the 60th anniversary. We've got a whole year full of activities. We're going to have a Space Day coming up. We're going to be doing something on Earth Day. It's a whole year full of activities, and I'd be happy to share that schedule with you and your listeners. Maybe we'll do a link to our websites, and so that people can go to GCH and see what to do up here at the Discovery Museum for our 60th anniversary.
Sure, we'll put up this podcast of the interview, too. Now, what piqued your interest about doing this in this next phase of your life?
You know, I've always had a passion for science. You know, as a little kid, we listened to John Kennedy say we were going to go to the moon.
Oh, yeah.
And then watch all of the progressive, from the Redstone rocket with John Glenn and Alan Shepard to the Mercury series and the Gemini, and then up through all of the moon landings. It's something that's, I think, our generation, it's in our blood, right? And as mayor, I was very involved with fighting climate change, as most mayors around the country are. And the most important element in fighting climate change is to know how to do it. What actions can government and business take, and where does that all come from? It comes from science. It comes from people who are studying climate and being able to tell us, where the man-made carbon reductions would be the most important to, preserving the planet and keeping our children healthy.
What's the average age group that the folks that come through there from schools?
I got in trouble because the Connecticut posted an article, and I said, it's for children up to the ages of 70.
Uh-huh.
And I had an 80-year-old woman call me who comes here all the time, and she says, no, it's at least children up to 90.
Okay, well, we definitely revised that one, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm heading in that direction at 62, so.
Yeah, we're the same age, and I have to tell you, I don't think there really is an age limit here. I would say just get your kids here as young as possible. I was with toddlers today in our Discover room, which is an area where there's all kinds of hands-on. And these kids were just running from exhibit to exhibit and actually playing with exhibits for a much longer period of time than any people normally do. The interactivity is what keeps all of us engaged at an exhibit much longer because you're playing with moving parts, and the outcomes are always different depending on the variables. And you can learn by experiencing. And I don't know about you, but when I learn by experiencing, it's a much more powerful experience. And, the thing where this Discovery Museum is so important is the ability to help people ignite that spirit of discovery in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and math. That's where the jobs of all our jobs in the future are going to be located. We've got truck drivers now, right, that have computers in their vehicle that have to learn about programming their computer and getting new information and connecting to, satellite and wireless. And our cars are going to be driving themselves soon. So there is, the interesting thing is that they're not even looking at cars as cars anymore. There's more prevalence of automobiles at the electronics show because it's more of an electronics contraption than it is a car. So
it's an Apple product on wheels.
Yeah. So I think the exciting thing is we're going to be able to train the workforce of tomorrow, starting with the toddlers that were in here today.
It's a fascinating place, and I hope folks in our neighborhood or the schools up here can take advantage more often. Do you get a chance to interact with the kids? It sounds like you do.
I do. Well, this is my 4th day on the job, so
okay.
I know everything about this place, and I know all the children. But, I was talking to our science staff here. We have an incredible staff. We teach, formal classes. We teach. We've got a program with NASA. I think I mentioned about rocketry that kids come here. We have a STEM accelerator. There's about 100 kids from Bridgeport, and we want to expand that to add another 100 kids from outside of Bridgeport. They're going down to Rye to do classes in your neighboring town in New York. So our reach is quite far, and the reason why I was so excited to do your show is because I know how many loyal listeners you have in Greenwich, and it's only I was talking to the mayor of New Rochelle recently, and he came up here, and he said, I didn't know what a facility was that was here. And
yeah.
And right behind it, there's the Adventure Park, and right next door is the Discovery Science Museum, and right across the street is a 36-hole golf course. So it's a great location.
That's a beautiful area there too, and we had our first 2 grandchildren, and I hadn't heard of the Beardsley Zoo, and man, did we have a great time up there. So Bridgeport's got a lot of action, although I'm going to miss the bluefish a bit.
Yeah, you and me both. My name's on the plaque. I was on the city council that did that, and but I think there's still plenty of things to do here, and so long as you have these institutions like the Discovery Museum and the Beardsley Zoo and all the other fine institutions that are here, sometimes we take them for granted. And
yeah.
I'm so excited to be here to bring this into the future. It's a great place and so much learning going on. That's so critically important to our economy. We've got to have a STEM pipeline because everybody's going to have a STEM job in the future.
Hell, you've been on the leading edge, and I know they must be very excited to get someone of your stature to take the job, former mayor of Bridgeport. And it's probably more fun than being the acting director of the New York State Thruway Authority, trying to get the Tappan Zee Mario Cuomo Bridge going, right?
Oh, that was a thrill. I mean,
it's a beautiful looking thing.
Oh, I worked on that bridge for a little over a year, and it was probably one of the most incredible projects that I'll ever be involved in, a $4 billion project that Governor Cuomo got going, right? The rest of the country, everything sort of stymied and stagnated, but Governor Cuomo got that going, and they did it as a design-build project, under budget, on time, and just an incredible project.
It's beautiful, and to watch it going up right side by side with the old bridge, so nothing was ever taken out of commission. May I ask one other thing. You're going to remain as a climate fellow at the Rockefeller Institute of Government. What does that mean?
Well, the Rockefeller Institute of Government is a think tank for local government, for mayors and county executives to get help from the SUNY system. As you know, SUNY is the largest public higher education system in the United States. Christina Johnson, the new head of the system, is a very green chancellor, and she wants to make sure that they do whatever they can to help meet our Paris climate commitments by having the 60-some-odd campuses of SUNY and all of the major cities and towns and counties in New York practicing best practices and learning how to, have permeable pavement and renewable energy and wind and solar and fuel cells and geothermal and all the great things that we can do. Our federal government's taking a vacation, but I can tell you the counties and the cities and the universities aren't. They're going gung-ho, and Rockefeller has asked me kindly to stay on and consult with them from time to time, helping mayors. As you know, in Bridgeport, one of the greener cities around, we did a lot with solar and renewable energy and fuel cells. So it was an honor to be there at Rockefeller with the fine professors at SUNY, and whatever I can do to help them, I'll continue to do that.
Well, you're doing a lot of good work. Tell folks as we finish up where the Discovery Museum's located, the hours, and the website.
The website is discoverymuseum.org. We are technically closed to the public on Monday, but we have so many school groups come through here. It's pretty much 24/7, 365. We're closed on major holidays. We're open at 10 o'clock, and you can't go wrong coming here. It's just it's an exciting place for kids up to 100.
And it's at 4450 Park Avenue, which is a beautiful area up there.
Right off the Merritt Parkway. So
right off the Merritt, exactly.
If you live anywhere from New York City to New Haven, you jump on the Parkway, and you're here in half hour to 45 minutes.
Well, I hope our listeners have picked up that this is a real gem that Greenwich ought to take advantage of. Bill, thanks for your time, and have a great success in your new position.
Well, we love Greenwich, and we'd love to see everybody from Greenwich come on up here and have a great experience. So thanks for having us on.
Good. Take care.